Hello and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Jared Thompson.
And I'm Courtney Vanatter. A McDowell County man was found dead Saturday night after a brutal stabbing. Bill Haney was stabbed to death by his reported girlfriend, Shauna Rife. Rife was charged with second-degree murder. After reports of a domestic dispute, Welch police arrived at the couple's residence on Central Avenue around 10 p.m. Rife was arrested Sunday and is currently being held in the city of Welch. Officers Rutherford, McKinney, Perry, and West Virginia State Police were the arresting officers.
Sylvia Matthews Burrell, a native of Hinton, West Virginia, has recently been chosen by President Obama as head of the National Budget Office. President Obama has said that Burrell knows how to, quote, make the numbers add up and how to ignite the middle-class economic growth. Burrell has been credited by the White House as being a principal architect of a series of budget plans that led to a budget surplus in the 1990s. Coming from a small town in West Virginia, Burrell knows the impact of government budget cuts on middle and lower-class families. Burrell has said, quote, our goal is to reignite the true engine of economic growth, and that is a strong, growing middle class, unquote. Burrell has previously served as the president of the Walmart Foundation, and she says that the management and budget team will, quote, do everything in their power to blunt the impact of these cuts of businesses and middle-class families. Burrell is a Harvard and Oxford graduate and also a Rhodes Scholar. If her nomination is approved, she will become only the second woman to hold the post of the nation's budget chief.
Many groups are planning a protest outside the office of a notable Arch Coal supporter in Charleston. Morgan Stanley and the corporation financially and has gained the attention of groups that have been fighting for years to prevent and delay strip mining on Blair Mountain in West Virginia. They acknowledge that Stanley made a commitment to human rights, but argue that this is being violated by funding any sort of mountaintop removal because it is harmful to both the environment and people involved. Blair Mountain is also the site of an armed uprising by unionizing coal miners in 1921, where 16 men lost their lives. According to the protesters, this gives the area historical significance as well. Arch Coal has been the permits necessary to mine on the mountain, and because of this, the opposing preservationists have lost the legible to haul the mining. Despite the setback for the protesters, the Second Battle of Blair Mountain seems far from over. Mercer County Police currently investigating the theft of construction equipment in Green Valley. According to the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, thousands of dollars worth of equipment were reported lost last month as stolen from the site of the new Mercer County Health Department. The stolen items include scaffold, braces, and several propane heaters. The company is currently offering an award of $2,500 for anyone with information that leads to an arrest. If you have any information on the crime, you are asked to call the Mercer County Sheriff's Office.
Authorities say that 3 track team members from the Bronx High School of Science have been arrested on charges of hazing and abusing a freshman member of the team over a period of 3 months. The school responded to the arrest by suspending all track team events until the investigation has completed. In the complaint filed by the victim, he said that 2 of the suspects anally violated him and threatened to rape him. He also accused the suspects of touching his genitals over his clothing. The school's principal, Vaylor J. Rady, says that school officials were interviewing team members about the situation.
Marine Corporal Philippek is finally receiving his Bronze Star and Purple Heart that he earned 70 years ago. Philippek earned his medals in 1945 for his actions on the island of Okinawa during World War II, but his medals never arrived. He earned his Bronze Star for an action he performed on June 12, 1945. His squad leader had went up onto a hillshot and got shot. No one would go get him, but Philippek was courageous enough to go up the hill and bring his sergeant back. He was under fire from a Japanese machine gun the entire way. Philippek was presented this long-lost medal at a special ceremony Monday at Hansford Senior Center in St. Albans. Major General James Hoyer had the honor of pinning the Bronze Star and Purple Heart on Philippek. He also received a number of campaign medals that he earned for his part in the war. Stay tuned for more after this break. Welcome back to WLT. Here is Cole Clunan with the CU Minute.
Hello and welcome to your CU Minute. I'm Cole Clunan. To start things off, Concord hosted West Virginia's own Minithin in a hip-hop concert to benefit a local charity. Minithin brought his own unique style of country rap, as well as a resume that includes sharing the stage with featured rappers such as Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Nas. The concert was a success, but was not without controversy, as a war of words happened both during and after the concert between Minithin and people in attendance Thursday night. In other news, the Concord University Mac Lab in the Division of Fine Arts has gone through a major overhaul, with the introduction of new operating systems, TV mounts for two 60-inch LCD TVs, as well as a new desk layout to conserve space. This upgrade will help to provide the resources necessary for artists and graphic designers to have when they enter the real world. A new Concord University course will focus on the impact of global warming on the world today. Course Professor Delilah O'Haines says that the course will include the latest science of the past, current, and future global warming trends, with an emphasis on those that are indicated in the Appalachian Mountains. O'Haines says that the course will include lectures, discussions, as well as guest speakers. The goal of this class, according to O'Haines, will be to educate the public about the true nature of global warming through a combination of poetry, art, and photography. The class will be open to the public at no charge and will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:45. That's all for your CU Minute. Back to you at the desk.
Tau Kappa Epsilon held their annual Polar Bear Plunge. This is a philanthropy for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The Teeks challenged themselves and others to jump into the frigid lake. With the air being a chilly 28 degrees accompanied by snow flurries, the Teeks and others took the plunge. They raised over $200 for St. Jude. Friends are teaming up to help a local family devastated by a deadly car accident. The Witt family lost 63-year-old Ann Witt and her 3-year-old great-granddaughter, Shaylin Morris, in a car accident 3 weeks ago. In order to help this affected family and assist in costs, there will be a bluegrass concert held on March 10th. The show will be held at the Lewisburg Armory from 12 to 6 p.m. There will be a small admission fee of $10, but all the proceeds will go to the family fund at First National Bank. Some of the performers will include the Half Bad Bluegrass Band, Ride and Hard Bluegrass Band, and Black Mountains Bluegrass Boys. Now, with this week's sports, here is Sarah White.
The World Baseball Classic of 2013 is back in action, featuring teams from 16 different countries around the world, including Venezuela, Korea, Canada, and even the United States, who will play their first game this year against Mexico on Friday, March the 8th. As the end of men's basketball college season comes to a close, it's time for March Madness to begin. 32 Division I men's basketball teams will battle it out for the NCAA Tournament Championship. While the bracket isn't definitively set, many sports experts have already begun predicting the winners, giving the Indiana Hoosiers the top odds. In Division II news, Joey Miller, the first baseman for the Concord University Mountain Lion baseball team, was awarded the WVIAC Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Player of the Week. However, the Mountain Lion baseball team ended their winning streak at Shippensburg University in Pennsylvania on Saturday. The Mountain Lions lost to the Red Raiders in a 10-5 in the first game and again at a nightcap game 3-0. The baseball team plays again on Saturday, March 9th against Seton Hill University at the Anderson Field here at Concord University. The Mountain Lion baseball team will also be hosting a free skills camp for kids after their second game against Seton Hill, which will be free to attend. That's all in sports news this week. Back to you at the desk.
Concord students have a chance to direct their own plays. Brian Allen has more.
James, how did you get out of here? I'm afraid to face him again.
4 Concord University students are filling the director's chair as they prepare to produce and direct a set of one-act plays this spring. Each student chose a play for their special projects class in theater and are responsible to bring it to performance. Here's one of the students with an overview of the project.
Well, right now we're auditioning for our student directing projects. Every now and again we have specialized advanced classes that focus on the more, shall we say, delicate nature of theater. You have stagecraft, lighting design, and as well directing. We have 4 students in the class, including myself. Each of us will be producing and directing our own 30 to 45-minute one-act.
The next step in the process is finding actors, and they did so with an open audition in the H.C. Paul Theater. Hopeful actors from a variety of backgrounds and degree programs showed up to try out for the many available roles, performing impromptu skits and cold readings, aiming to catch the attention of the directors with their acting skills and land a good role.
I've been acting for the past 10 years and I haven't really got to do it while I was in college, so this is actually my first audition for a college show, so I was really excited, and I'm friends with Greg Stamp and he invited me out. So
no date has yet been set for the performances.
Concord University has a strong tradition of supporting the fine arts, and these 4 student-directed and acted plays are just another example. I'm Brian Allen with WMLT News, Athens.
With this week's Take It or Leave It, here is Chad Brown.
Remember the childhood fairy tales Jack and the Beanstalk and Jack the Giant Killer? Did you get chills imagining Jack hearing the giant's bellowing threats to grind his bones to make its bread? Did you cheer for joy when the giant took its iconic tumble down the beanstalk? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, Jack the Giant Slayer should be right up your alley of cinematic interest. It rekindles the tale of the beanstalk climbing hero named Jack with a modern 3-dimensional treatment, combining elements of both Jack and the Beanstalk and Jack the Giant Killer. Jack starts out life as a simple, unassuming farmhand who accidentally opens the gateway that once separated the human world from the world of the lumbering, menacing giants who have faded into myth until now. The towering creatures supposedly have claim to the land of the humans and begin to wage war with them to take their territory back. See if Jack can successfully fend off the giants in this new epic fantasy. Returning to the concept of childhood, as well as a less intense cinematic scope, there is a new computer-animated film that parents and kids alike would find interesting. This film is called Escape from Planet Earth, and it chronicles the adventures of a heroic astronaut named Scorched Supernova. The twist? This astronaut is actually a blue alien from the far-off planet called Bab, who finds himself stranded on planet Earth in the clutches of the United States government. Because of this, his scrawnier, more combat-averse brother, Gary, has to step up to a daring mission himself to rescue his wayward brother. This journey is a fun, colorful, and humorous one that the entire family will enjoy. That's it for Take It or Leave It. Back to you at the desk.
Scientists have possibly cured a child with HIV from Mississippi through very early and aggressive treatment of the disease. The baby was born in July 2010, where the mother had just recently been tested positive for HIV and didn't receive any treatment. The baby was given 3 different drugs instead of just one to battle the disease. The child then stayed on the treatment for 18 months until the mother quit sending her to treatment. 10 months later, blood tests were still negative after the child was taken off the medicine. Researchers believe that the aggressive treatment at birth kept the infection at bay, not allowing it to spread further. Further research is being investigated.
This has been this week's broadcast of WMLT. I'm Courtney Vanatter.
And I'm Jared Thompson. Tune in again in 2 weeks. Can we get faster on that thing?